Okay, team, welcome back. We're going to talk about movement, specifically lateral movement technique. We're not necessarily going to do a practice session. I just want to talk about the technique and how you can use it to keep your hips open to the targets you're trying to shoot. This is super helpful in most sports that involve shooting. I mean, I would assume it's probably good for all sorts of other things, but if you're moving laterally from left to right or right to left, you want to move in a way that your hips don't turn away from the targets. Sometimes people start doing this kind of thing and their hips are away from the targets and they're trying to pull their shoulders back to shoot the thing. So if they're moving, they'll move like this, which is forward movement. Like forward movement, that makes sense. But as soon as I start changing direction and I have to turn my shoulders past where my hips want to go, it really binds me up in a weird way. So there are plenty of opportunities, a USPSA stage, a DPA stage, or whatever, where you have to move laterally. Maybe there's a shooting box at the back of the, or upstage, and then downstage, you can't really get down there because you're shooting from the shooting box. If I am moving from the left to the right, I am going to step out with my lead foot and I'm going to cross or meet the foot in the same location. Notice my hips are still downrange, and then I grab more ground and I cross and I grab my ground. Why I'm not, I call it crossing, but it's not really this. I'm not stepping and then crossing because that turns my hips, right? So I can go as far as about where my lead foot is. So if I am taking a step to the right, I can meet it where it is and still keep my stuff down range. And I have my foot in front. If I'm going left to right, I will step out and meet, step out and meet. I guess I should call it meeting instead of crossing. To me, it makes sense to call it crossing, but it is not a cross that changes my hip direction. So if I am shooting an entire array down there, right, like this, I will step out, boom, 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 right? I don't love the stepping behind, so I don't love doing this, because as soon as I step behind, it kind of turns me a little bit. I could do big step and do little step to only get behind, but in my opinion, every time I try a step behind where it doesn't require me to turn that direction, I am less able to keep stability on my body. So lead foot grabs ground, second foot just kind of meets it. Notice I'm keeping my hips open, my feet are open, and all that stuff. It's not a whole lot of work and you don't have to be super flexible. Step out, meet, step out, meet, step out. And you can do it pretty aggressively, right? You take big steps. But I feel like that foot in front keeps me plenty stable. I have even used it where I almost drag that back foot so that I can have even more stability, as if I'm not losing contact with the ground. If the range allows it and there's not a bunch of divots, whether it's grass or like gravel or dirt, sand, that kind of thing, I can step out and like drag that foot, and I am shooting very, it's like both of my feet are still on the ground, essentially, because I am dragging my foot, I'm not having to pick it up, and I can shoot even control targets, like that medium control target, not that super small, very complex, expensive target, but that medium, maybe piece of steel, or that headshot that does not have a hard, like a no-shoe or something like that. I may even consider doing that if it blends a position. I don't have to take an extra position completely still. So again, as far as technique goes, I am shooting, I step out with the lead foot, and I then will move my back foot, my trail foot, to like about that place, but it is in front. I want to make sure that you guys can see that. So if I step to the right, this would be in front. You can probably see it right there, right? That'll be in front. It is not connected. It is not connected like side to side where the feet are together like this. They don't come together. They actually are uneven with each other. I step out and then that kind of meets. I step out and then it meets. Does that make sense, everybody? I want to make sure that you see that. I step out and then I meet in front of it, in line. I step out and again, step out, then again. And the other way is also true. If I step out left, it meets to the right. Step out left, meets to the right. Step out left, meets to the right. I have found this to be super helpful technique for moving laterally while shooting. Obviously, if I'm not shooting, turn your hips and go wherever the heck you're trying to go as quickly and as aggressively as possible. But if I am trying to shoot and skip a position altogether, I've done that across ports if necessary. If I'm trying to shoot